Hey everyone, it's Types, and we need to talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket because the launch has been interesting to say the least. The soft launch, not the hard launch, I guess is the full launch, and that will be coming out in October 30th in most countries, aka every country except for well, not every country except for New Zealand. It's not coming out in a couple of European countries specifically that like should be getting it. Oh, this isn't it. I believe it is the Netherlands and Belgium. Not 100% sure if those are the countries and the only countries, but yeah, it will not be coming to those countries due to like certain laws, which is actually related to the in-game like currency stuff or like the fact that you can buy in-game stuff for real-world money. But regardless, it will be coming to most people on October 30th. And so everyone who doesn't have it now, who will be getting it will be coming on that date. And um, it's weird, right? So going and starting in just New Zealand, Pokemon has obviously done that intentionally. For what reason? Well, it's to test the game with a smaller sample size of people who so like they can actually test stuff with fewer repercussions. Like if something goes wrong, I guess then it's like, oh, okay, we can fix this real quick, and it's not really impacting that many people. And then obviously, if you're in New Zealand, the upside is you get to play the game early. So it's like it really is a good thing for if you live in New Zealand. It's not like you're just like guinea pigs and you're like it's not a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing, which I think most people would agree with. But then people have been using like VPNs and other stuff because I VPNs I really don't know like much about like VPNs or the other things that are like used. But I know VPNs are like used to change your location, but from what I've heard, that's not enough. Um, which is like seems kind of surprising. There's also Pokemon TCG Live. I know there like are ways to play, so it's only available in certain countries. It's available in pretty much all the countries that, or no, not all the countries that Pocket is in. A lot of them, not Japan, though. That's a big one, and I believe that just a VPN might be the way that people get around it, but it could be more as well. And that is part of the reason why Pocket is coming out to be available to more people, to be available to almost everyone, except for unfortunately countries where certain gambling laws are in place. I don't know if it's gambling, but it's something very similar to that because of the in-game purchases that you can make. So that's like, and that's something that I've talked about a few times and said that I don't like that. Obviously, Pokemon does need to make money. Pokemon DCG Live is, if you simplify it, boil it down to one big issue, why is it bad? It's because it doesn't make money. So Pokemon isn't incentivized to put money into it. It's not like Pokemon doesn't care about putting together a good product. They do want to put together a good product, but they're not just going to dump absurd amounts of money into something where they're not going to get really much of anything out of it. It's not like they aren't putting any money into Pokemon TCG Live because they are. I don't know how much, but it's an amount that they're losing money on it because they're not getting any money outside of maybe like a tiny bit. The only thing that they could be getting money on is indirectly and would be getting new people in through the game to then spend more money because of Pokemon TCG Live. But Pokemon TCG Pocket is of course different, where you can just it's free to start here. It says on this Pokebeach article. This Pokebeach article, I'm not like saying talking about the articles, but there are a few things that I might mention here, but the game is free to start, not free to play if you want to necessarily get everything. But the fact that it is only available in New Zealand, I think it makes sense. But then the fact that people are getting around it is it's weird, right? So it's creating issues, which I've heard a few people talk about. Obviously, it's probably creating issues for Pokemon. That's one of my concerns, and this is the current thing I haven't really heard people talk about. Pokemon, as I said, they put in New Zealand for a reason. Um, if it's in within just one region, that means that there's times where Pokemon might like where people aren't playing as much, and there's times where people are playing more. And versus across the entire world, if the player base is spread pretty evenly, then and even if it isn't, there's it's like still always going to be active a decent amount, but there's not really times when it's ever down. Um, it's not like the servers are. I don't actually know if the servers get like shut down at a time in the soft launch. I mean, Pokemon TCG Live, they do. The idea obviously is that you could like shut it down during the night to work on it so that you're not disrupting, or like, when people are like sleeping or like not playing. Of course, in Pokemon TCG Live, they shut it down in the middle of the workday because that's when the people in the workday are working on Pokemon TCG Live. But, that is what it is. But so it's like it's very advantageous for that reason, I'm pretty sure. That's not like the main reason, though. The main reason I assume is because of size. And I don't know how big New Zealand is, and obviously not everyone in New Zealand is, playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, but then there are a lot of people who aren't, who are bypassing the geolocking, which Pokemon clearly doesn't want you to play it. This is breaking the rules. If you are I assume like everyone knows that you're breaking the rules. I believe you could get banned. I tried to look for the terms and conditions. Like I looked in the Play Store and it didn't see it. Presumably you need to actually, you probably like read the terms and conditions before you play the game, but I couldn't find it in the Play Store. If it is, well, because you can't like download you can like pre-register, but yeah, if anyone like has a link to that, I've seen online a few places where it says you might get banned, which means that obviously like you lose all your stuff and stuff like that. If you are using a like VPN, if you're bypassing, essentially if you're lying, right? Like you're lying about various things. I don't remember what the list of things was, but I believe it did include using something to change your location. And Pokemon's made it difficult to work around it. People have done it, but they don't want people to do it, right? So and I don't want people getting banned. I don't want people breaking the rules, but um, I don't want like lots of people getting banned either. And that just won't be like a good look for Pokemon if the game releases and then like everyone playing the game is literally like banned. Well, not everyone, but I don't know if more people. I kind of assume that more people playing the game now are not in New Zealand than are, which would definitely I don't know. I don't know if Pokemon is like sitting here thinking like, okay, this is our plan was we'll say New Zealand, a bunch of people will um there's still a small portion of the people who want to play the game will go ahead and use like VPNs and stuff to bypass this, and then this is like all part of their plan. Or if they're like, okay, maybe like a few people, but we don't really worry about that. Just focus on this, the people from New Zealand, and do it that way. I don't know if which way Pokemon's going about it, but from what I've heard, like this isn't, especially with content creators who aren't in New Zealand. Which, by the way, does anyone know any content creators who are actually like from New Zealand? I was trying to find some because like with the Pokemon Digital Live launch, there it was from Canada, and there were like YouTubers from there that I watched, but I haven't found any from New Zealand that have been playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. But it's definitely like this is something I don't like negative videos, but I mean I feel like it's not, I mean it's not good to break the rules, right? That's generally a good thing. Not it's not like always applicable, but generally applicable. But it's not good to encourage other people to break the rules. And if you're like a YouTuber, I don't know, it feels like I feel like you shouldn't be like you have a um this is getting kind of weird, but like you have a certain standard to uphold, and you can make mistakes, right? It happens, but like this isn't that, right? This is like this is the biggest YouTubers, like a lot of Pokemon YouTubers, not all of them. I don't want to say names because I don't want to like throw someone under the bus who didn't do it, but yeah, there are definitely some who have, right? And some of the biggest Pokemon TCG YouTube channels, referring to like gameplay channels, as well as a lot of other channels, and that people like don't realize that they're then like if you're a fan, especially more impressionable fans, who generally are younger, but not necessarily, then they might just be like, oh, I should go ahead and do this, and then they'll do it, and then they have no idea that they're breaking the rules. So that's some like it's become a bit of a mess now. I just hope that it doesn't hurt the game in terms of Pokemon now has like too many people and like the servers like crash or something. But then Also, then there's the issue then that is probably the big issue that a lot of people are thinking about is that then once you actually start um, like when I start the game, I don't want to be playing against people with all the cards. If you're from New Zealand, I feel like I feel that it's more fair if you're from New Zealand than if you're like, you're not, cheating if you're from New Zealand. You're just playing the game. You have this special opportunity and you get to enjoy that special opportunity. But if you're not from New Zealand, then it becomes this thing. It's like, well, why do you get this? Why is Pokemon rewarding you for breaking the rules? Or is Pokemon just going to punish them? And then like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like in terms of a fair like punishment, um, I mean I feel like at bare like the border the minimum punishment generally would be that there no punishment but no reward would be saying that you undo everything like that wasn't ever supposed to happen, right? So if you live in the US and you used a VPN, then you just like lose all your cards because you were never supposed to have those cards in the first place. But that would feel really bad as well. You could say, well, like that's just fair. And Pokemon might do that. I've heard that I have to create new like trainer like or like Pokemon accounts. If you have a Pokemon account based in the let's say the US, I'm using that as the example. Obviously, not everyone is from the US. I am, and a lot of my viewers are, but a lot aren't. But um, if you are from the US, then I don't know. But uh, if you're not, I'm not saying that I'm just like talking about people from the US, but yeah, anyway, I'm a little under the weather if I'm just kind of rambling. Sorry about that. But if you're from the US with your US Pokemon account, then you need to create another like New Zealand Pokemon account. Um, I don't really do too much with my Pokemon account. I mean, obviously I play like Pokemon TCG live, but that's about it. Like I don't really do much else with my Pokemon account, and I don't like look at my Pokemon account. Like I don't know there's like a number I think, and I don't know what that number is. Um, I just know. I don't really know any information on there, so I'm pretty sure there is like a location on there. But um, so I've heard that you need to create a new account, and that is like saying, oh, now you can't ever connect it with your regular account. They're not going to let you just like transfer accounts, I'm assuming. But then people are just going to like play with their new accounts, right? Like it's not really like it's not a punishment at all, really, in that case, other than you're playing under a different name, which would be like instead of I'm like 10 types, oh, I'm like 10 types 2, oh, such a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what Pokemon's planning on doing, and I'm pretty sure they said they're not deleting or removing any material from the beta if you got it, or the soft launch if you got in the soft launch. And obviously if you're from New Zealand, like they're not just gonna like delete all this stuff. And so I don't know. It's a weird situation. One thing that is gonna make it it's not like you're good. Presumably that you're gonna just be like losing to people all the time because they have better cards than you, and that's because your opponents got into the game early using like some VPN, and then and you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait because that's what I've been like told to do, and then like now you're being punished for waiting. You're being punished in the form of like having less cards, but you're not gonna be playing against those people with more cards. Um, which I guess feels better. I don't actually know if that's like the better thing. That might feel worse actually, because if you want to be like playing against um, good people, like you might just be not. Obviously, at the very beginning, the matchmaking will be worse, and then as time goes on, it'll get better. As presumably, I believe the matchmaking is going to be good in Pocket based on what they've said about the matchmaking, and I'm very optimistic about that. But as more data is collected on you as you play, like win rate, and then collection size is a thing. Obviously, collection size that they'll always know. It's not like they don't know your collection size at the beginning, but um, it also won't be like everyone's will be the same. So I just I don't know. I feel like I was very optimistic about Pokemon TCG Pocket when it was first revealed, and I still am, but I've been disappointed with like kind of how this like soft launch has happened. Of course, it is like this is mostly a community thing, But it's not like Pokemon's fault. But also they could have like stopped this. Um, it's like, Pokemon invited people to their like headquarters. I don't know where they invite them to, but they invite people to like learn info about Pokemon TCG Pocket early, and then and, like that's cool. But then Pokemon also like now these people are like using like VPNs to bypass their like settings for Pokemon, which doesn't make any sense. Like presumably Pokemon didn't tell them to do this because they wouldn't be like saying that they've flown to New Zealand and are like using like VPN. Like that wouldn't, if Pokemon told them to do it, they'd just say like, here you go, here's the special version. You're not from New Zealand, but we're giving you a special version. And then like they wouldn't, because they don't want all these people, who aren't from New Zealand to do it. So they would say like, okay, you can give them the special version just so you can like share info about it with other people. But that's not what's happening. And then it's just a weird situation. But I had to make a video on it. I felt like I was like looking around and it's just a weird situation, but um, I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Anyone from New Zealand, how has it been so far? I think that's cool, but and yeah, I've said this before in a few videos and in a comment or like a post as well. Don't do it if you're not from New Zealand. Because it's breaking the rules. I mean, you could get banned, and that's the reason not to do it, but don't do it because, it's breaking the rules, right? But I hope you enjoyed the video. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all the good stuff. I will, of course, be doing Pokemon TCG Pocket content, like playing the game once it comes out. I'm very excited for that. I don't really have a mobile game I'm playing. Pokemon TCG Live is okay. It has its flaws, and the standard format's okay as well. It's fun. I think it's in a healthy place, but I am definitely craving Pokemon TCG Pocket. But hope you enjoyed. Excited to see you next video.